First tonight, the extraordinary story of the man who's turned up safe and well after being missing, presumed dead, for more than 5 years. It was feared that John Darwin was lost at sea when the remains of his canoe were washed up on a beach near Hartlepool in 2002. But incredibly, on Saturday evening, Mr. Darwin walked into a London police station and told officers, "I think I'm a missing person." Well, tonight, no one seems any nearer to solving the mystery of where he's been or what he's been doing for the last 5 years. Mary Askew joins us now from Redcar. What can you tell us about the latest, Mary?
Well, Lara, we're in Redcar tonight because this is where much of the manpower came from for the search, the massive search that was launched when John Darwin went missing. It's a night that the former prison officer from Stockton Jail says he can't remember anything of. In fact, he says he can't remember anything of the last 5.5 years, as I've been finding out. John Darwin launched his red kayak from this beach in Seaton Carew on a March morning in 2002. But the alarm that he was missing wasn't raised for another 12 hours. The rescue services threw all their resources into the hunt for him. Look North reporter Peter Lugg was at the scene.
This has been one of the most extensive searches for many years. Why is that so? Well, just think about it. One canoeist out there in the open sea, no navigational aids, no homing beacon, no radio equipment, not like a modern trawler might have. It's been literally like trying to find a drop in the ocean.
Mr. Darwin's waterproof jacket was found, a paddle, and finally his kayak broken into 3 pieces. But never Mr. Darwin himself. Until Saturday, when the Metropolitan Police had to track down his next of kin, including his 2 sons and his 90-year-old father, to say that finally he'd turned up and was alive.
He was wonderful. Although I knew John wouldn't do anything stupid like that. He's always been like a sensible sort of fella.
This was Mr. Darwin's family home in Seaton Carew, overlooking the beach where he went missing. 6 weeks ago, his wife Anne sold up and moved out, leaving many personal possessions behind, including photographs. The new owner says this is Mrs. Darwin, the woman who until the weekend was officially a widow.
All I was interested in was purchasing the house and getting it as quickly as possible. We made the assumption that she was moving to Spain because we saw some teach yourself Spanish books lying around. So put 2 and 2 together, you can get 4.
And so the mystery deepens. Where has Mr. Darwin been for the last 5.5 years? And where is Mrs. Darwin now? Other reports suggest she's actually in the West Indies. Well, one man who certainly does remember the night that John Darwin went missing is the launch authority here at the RNLI in Redcar, Dave Cox. Mr. Cox, can you tell us about that night and the massive search that was launched?
Well, it certainly was a massive search. We were called out at 1 a.m. on the 22nd of March to search for a person that had been reported missing from Hartlepool in a canoe. And it involved 6 RNLI lifeboats, an RAF Sea King helicopter, an RAF Nimrod aircraft, the police aircraft, and numerous shore parties searching the full length of the coast, all the way from Seaton Carew down to Saltburn.
So, what was the weather like?
The weather itself wasn't too bad. It was a typical late March early morning. It was quite cold. It was fairly overcast. The sea wasn't too bad. It was the length of the search that was particularly arduous, because lifeboats searched for about 20 hours in total without anything to be seen during that time. And
what's the reaction now of the RNLI that this man has finally turned up?
Well, in one sense, we're quite delighted that even if it is 6 years later, the person we went looking for has been found safe and well. Because that's what lifeboat crews like to do. They like to find somebody and bring them back safe to the families. The fact that the gentleman has been missing for nearly 6 years now is, of course, a puzzle, and no doubt there's more to come on that.
Well, indeed, there is more to come on that. Cleveland Police have said tonight that they are very keen to talk themselves to Mr. Darwin, but it's something that they're not going to be able to do, they don't think, until Wednesday. So it might be until then that we have to wait for all those questions to be answered. Lara.
Thanks, Mary. Well, on the face of it then, a happy ending for the family of John Darwin. But just how rare is it for someone missing for so long to turn up alive and well? As Jerry Jackson now reports, other families here in the north desperately want answers after the disappearance of their loved ones.